Long before Spanish ships appeared, Puerto Rico, then called Borican, was home to the Taino people. They were skilled farmers, navigators, and artisans living in organized villages led by AA. The Taino had a vibrant culture, worshipping gods called playing the ball game and passing down history through epic songs. Their society was communal and sustainable, with everyone contributing to daily life. Though much of their world is gone, the Taino legacy lives on in Puerto Rican DNA, place names, and words like hammock and barbecue. Next time you relax in a hammock or grill outdoors, remember the Taino, the island's original storytellers. Their story is the foundation of Puerto Rico's history. In 1493, Christopher Columbus landed on Borican, renaming it San Juan Bautista and marking the start of Spanish colonization. The Spanish quickly established settlements, seeking gold and imposing the system, which forced the Taino into labor. Disease and exploitation devastated the Taino population within decades. The Spanish moved the capital to a new islet, calling it Puerto Rico for its rich harbor. Eventually the island and city names swapped. Puerto Rico became a vital outpost for Spain, a gateway to the Americas and a prize fiercely defended for centuries. The arrival of the Spanish transformed the island's culture, society, and fate forever. The Taino world faded, but the Spanish era had only just begun. The new hosts were here to stay, and the island's story was rewritten. The clash of worlds was tragic, but it set the stage for Puerto Rico's next chapter. The party was over for the Taino, and a new era had begun. Puerto Rico was now on the map, and in the crosshairs of history. With Puerto Rico a Spanish stronghold, the island became the Caribbean's fortress, a vital outpost in Spain's vast colonial empire. Its strategic location made it a coveted prize for rival European powers, and the Spanish spared no effort in defending it. Massive forts like El Morro and San Cristobal were built to defend against invaders, turning San Juan into one of the most fortified cities in the Americas. These imposing structures, with their thick stone walls and watchtowers, stood as symbols of Spanish might and determination. The Spanish brought their language, faith, and architecture, shaping towns with plazas, churches, and cobblestone streets. Life revolved around the church and the central plaza, where people gathered for markets, festivals, and community events. Gold ran out quickly, so sugar, coffee, and tobacco plantations took over, creating a new social hierarchy. These crops transformed the landscape and economy, making Puerto Rico a key agricultural hub in the Caribbean. Spanish elites ruled, while enslaved people worked the fields, a system that defined island life for generations. The wealth and power of the few depended on the labor and suffering of many. Puerto Rican culture became a blend of Spanish traditions and local realities, evolving into something unique. Music, food, and celebrations reflected this fusion as African, Taino, and Spanish influences mixed together. The island's identity was forged in the tension between conquest and adaptation, as people found ways to survive and thrive under foreign rule. Spanish rule left a legacy of resilience, creativity, and a society layered with influences. Generations grew up navigating the complexities of colonial life, shaping a culture that was both proud and adaptable. The forts still stand as reminders of a time when Puerto Rico was the Caribbean's gatekeeper, watching over the sea and the future. The island's story was no longer just Spanish, it was becoming Puerto Rican, as new generations claimed their own identity. The blend of old and new shaped a culture that endures today, visible in every street, every meal, and every celebration. Puerto Rico's spirit was born in these centuries of challenge and change, a spirit that continues to inspire its people. The island was ready for whatever came next, its people carrying forward a legacy of endurance and hope. Puerto Rico's prime location made it a target for pirates and rival empires. English, French, and Dutch forces attacked repeatedly, seeking to break Spain's hold. Sir Francis Drake tried and failed to take San Juan in 1595, repelled by El Morro's cannons. The English briefly captured the city in 1598, but disease forced them out. The Dutch burned San Juan in 1625, but couldn't conquer its fortress. Each attack led to stronger defenses, turning the city into a fortress island. These battles forged a tough, resilient population, defenders of their home. Stories of pirates and sieges became part of Puerto Rican folklore. The island's identity was shaped by constant vigilance and survival. Life in Puerto Rico was a real-life adventure, dangerous, unpredictable, and unforgettable. The people learned to adapt, resist, and endure. The era of pirates and invasions left scars, but also pride. Puerto Rico's spirit was tempered in the fires of conflict. As the Taino population declined, Spain turned to the transatlantic slave trade, bringing enslaved Africans to work the plantations. Despite brutal conditions, these Africans brought music, beliefs, and traditions that blended with Taino and Spanish influences. This fusion created Puerto Rico's unique culture, seen in its music, food, and language. Slavery lasted over 350 years, but Afro-Puerto Rican contributions became central to the island's identity. The culture is a vibrant tapestry of survival, resistance, and creativity. Slavery ended in 1873, but its legacy endures in every aspect of Puerto Rican life. Puerto Rico's strength lies in its blend of peoples and stories. In 1898, the Spanish-American War changed everything. Puerto Rico was ceded to the United States. The Treaty of Paris marked the end of centuries of Spanish colonial rule, and the beginning of a new era under American authority. American troops landed, and the island became a U.S. territory, shifting from Spanish rule to American control almost overnight. For many Puerto Ricans, this sudden change brought both hope and uncertainty about their future. Hopes for self-government were quickly dashed as the U.S. imposed its own system, keeping real power in Washington. Local leaders and activists soon realized that their voices would be limited under the new regime. The Foraker Act set up a civilian government, but key officials were appointed by the U.S. president. This meant that ultimate authority remained far from the island, in the hands of American leaders. Puerto Ricans could elect a legislature, but their decisions could be overruled. The promise of democracy was limited, and many felt their voices were not truly heard. In 1917, the Jones Act granted U.S. citizenship to Puerto Ricans, just in time for World War I and the military draft. While citizenship brought new rights, it also brought new obligations, and many questioned what it truly meant to be American. The island gained a locally elected Senate, but Congress still had the final say. Puerto Rican leaders could debate and propose laws, but ultimate control remained in Washington. Puerto Rico belonged to the U.S., but wasn't part of it, a confusing, unequal relationship. The island's status was ambiguous, leaving many questions about rights, representation, and identity. This new era sparked debates about status and identity that continue today. Puerto Ricans began to organize, protest, and demand a clearer future for their homeland. The American Takeover brought change, opportunity, and frustration. Economic shifts transformed daily life as American businesses and influences spread across the island. Puerto Rico's fate was now tied to a distant power. Decisions about the island's future would be made thousands of miles away, often without local input. The island's journey grew more complex and its people more determined. Through hardship and hope, Puerto Ricans held on to their culture and sense of identity. The struggle for self-determination had only just begun. Movements for independence, statehood, and greater autonomy would shape Puerto Rico's story for generations. Puerto Rico's story entered a new, uncertain chapter, one defined by resilience, debate, and the ongoing quest for a place in the world. The 20th century brought rapid change, transforming Puerto Rico in ways that would shape its identity for generations to come. Operation Bootstrap shifted Puerto Rico from agriculture to industry, fueling migration to cities and the U.S. mainland. Thousands left rural towns in search of new opportunities, forever altering the island's social fabric. In 1952, Puerto Rico became a commonwealth, gaining its own constitution and elected governor. A milestone that brought both hope and new questions about the island's future. But ultimate authority remained with the U.S. Congress, leaving many Puerto Ricans feeling caught between two worlds. Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, able to move freely between the island and the mainland, yet their rights are not always equal. They can't vote for president, a political gray area that frustrates many and sparks ongoing debate about representation and democracy. The island's status remains unresolved, with passionate voices on all sides calling for change. Debates over statehood, independence, or keeping the current arrangement continue to shape Puerto Rico's political landscape. Economic crises and disasters like Hurricane Maria have tested Puerto Rico's resilience, forcing communities to come together and rebuild, time and again. Yet, the island's culture, music, and spirit remain vibrant and strong, echoing through every festival and celebration. Puerto Rico is a place where history lives, in ancient petroglyphs carved by the Taino people, reminders of a deep and enduring heritage. In Spanish forts that once guarded the coast, and in the bustling streets of modern San Juan, the past and present meet. The people's warmth, pride, and creativity shine through every challenge, inspiring new generations to dream and persevere. Puerto Rico is more than a vacation spot. It's a nation with a rich ongoing story, woven from struggle, celebration, and hope. The journey has been tough, marked by hardship and perseverance, but it's forged a unique identity, one that blends tradition, resilience, and a vision for the future. The island's future is still being written by its people, who continue to shape their destiny with determination and hope. Puerto Rico's story is one of survival, adaptation, and hope, a testament to the enduring spirit of its people. The spirit of Borican endures, shaping the island's destiny and lighting the way forward for generations to come.